After continuously exploring the greatness of Batmanimation, it felt appropriate to highlight the value of several live-action Batman adaptations, resulting in this video on the Batman show of the 1960s, my personal favourite live-action Batman property. The fact that the show was wholeheartedly intended as a comical, affectionate parody of the Batman mythos is pivotal in understanding its appeal. While I appreciate the dark elements of the character's legacy, the humorous potential in a story of a man who dresses as a bat and fights a clown is extremely evident. Due to the vibrantly coloured, stylised settings and costumes, deliberately nuanced or infectiously energetic performances, and observed satirical writing, this show brilliantly satisfies its every objective. Now, the reason I would praise this series but would criticise Joel Schumacher's similarly outlandish take seen in Batman and Robin is a result of the fact that Schumacher's film features a mixture of bland or extremely forced performances, confused characterisation, and some melodramatic ideas that totally disrupt the tone. None of these problems are apparent in Batman 66. Batman 66 displays obvious strength outside of its exceptional comedy. Adam West's representation of the Caped Crusader obviously lacks the expected brooding intensity. However, it does channel other traits that I think are equally important to the character. He regularly performs detective work, while a lot of adaptations totally forget he has this skill. Works closely with Police Commissioner Gordon, possesses a whole host of gadgets preparing him for the most perilous of situations, and avoids lethal force. Just like Michael Keaton's Batman. Oh, wait, no. Just like Ben Affleck's Batman. Oh, wait, no. Just like Kevin Smith's Batman in that one scene of Mallrats. Easily the second best live action Batman. After Adam West, of course. Of course though, the only man who's been truly capable of playing Batman is Bruce Wayne, and he does have the unfair advantage of sounding uncannily similar to Batman. Robin, Batman's ward, played by Burt Ward, oh my god, it was fate, proves to be on several occasions a wholly resourceful sidekick Batman. Alfred is shown to be brave and competent. Once Batgirl is introduced, she's established as a capable crime fighter, while Dick Grayson's Aunt Harriet and Irish law enforcer Chief O'Hara are also there. Yet another pleasing feature of this series was its representation of Batman's classic foes. Cesar Romero's Joker was brilliantly entertaining while surprisingly threatening at times. Comparing every Joker performance is unfair, given that they've all been written totally differently for totally different adaptations with totally different names. However, Cesar Romustache's performance captured the playful tone of this adaptation with as much success as more modern takes on the Joker have captured the dark tone of their respective adaptations. With Groucho Marx painting on his moustache and Cesar Romero painting over his moustache. I suspect that from the 30s to the 60s, people in show business just didn't fully understand what moustaches were. Additionally, Frank Gorshin's Riddler perfectly balanced intelligence with manic eccentricity, while introducing the now iconic three-piece question mark laden suit, without which the Riddler would have been permanently trapped in a spandex prison. Original Gomez Adams actor John Astin took over the role for 2 episodes, in which the question mark Kane was born. Yet another characteristic that is automatically associated with the conundrum crafting crook. Burgess Meredith's Penguin is given the false sophistication and avian obsession while introducing several other habits that are now synonymous with this fine feathered felon. Appearances from other classical villains do occur, including the Mad Hatter, Mr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze, Catwoman, and Catwoman. I assume at least 2 of the Catwomen were meant to be different people, adopting the mantle. Because she begins as Julie Newmar, evolves into Lee Merriweather, and then finally metamorphosizes into Eartha Kitt. Maybe they're just 3 of her 9 lives. And she spent her 4th life as Michelle Pfeiffer. Though surprising given the show's jovial nature, all of these villains were formidable and cunning, a feature that was complemented by the gripping 2-part story structure. Even when characters weren't necessarily faithfully presented, they were respectfully written on some level. Perhaps Batman 66's most impressive accomplishment, though, was the sense of accessibility. Over the years, Batman has been rigorously rewritten, sometimes to appeal mostly to adults, sometimes mostly to children, depending on the property. This and Batman the Animated Series are among the few adaptations to truly master the delicate demographic balance. Batman 66 achieved this by establishing simple, adventurous, occasionally suspenseful stories to appease the children, and advanced humour to appease adult viewers. In spite of all these strengths, I do think the show suffered in particular areas, most notably its original villains. As previously stated, the classic Batman villains were flatteringly represented, but those that were exclusively created for the series were usually unmemorable or maximised the show's absurdist tone to unnecessary extremes which were no longer funny. This issue would have been avoided if the writers simply borrowed more characters from the comics, either ones that already suited the show's tone or could be reinvented to suit the show's tone, a technique they'd already proven themselves capable of. This questionable characterization often seemed a waste of big stars such as Vincent Price, Ann Baxter, and third example, guest stars often appeared in a heroic capacity as well, with Van Williams and Bruce Lee, stars of the Green Hornet TV series, appearing as their characters in a crossover episode that puts every instance of BoJack Horseman and Mr. Peanut Butter in the same room to shame. Batman 66 is highly recommended to anyone open to the concept of a self-aware comedic Batman adaptation, though due to its surprisingly vast influence on the Batman mythos in general, especially with its popularisation of once near-forgotten villains, even those who are opposed to the comedic approach are given legitimate cause not to treat the series with complete dismissiveness. And remember, the only real Batman is Kevin Smith, Bruce Wayne, or Adam West. When will another video be released? Will it be related to the Caped Crusader? Find out in some general point in the future, unspecified bat time, same bat channel. Batman, Batman.